Hi, my name is Bart Stolb, and I'm here with Dr. Satyanarayana Dasa and psychotherapist Jessica Richmond. Today we're going to speak about the subject of Vedic psychology. Hello, welcome, Dr. Dasa. So, from my understanding of Vedic psychology, the impressions or samskaras that are created in the first 7 years of life are very important. Could you speak about this importance?
Yeah, this is a good question you have raised. Our human body, there are two things in it. One is the physical body, which you can compare like the hardware of a computer, and the second are the impressions from our experience, which we go through beginning from the conception onwards, and then when the baby is born and growing. So all these experiences, they get stored inside our unconscious mind, which in Sanskrit we call chitta. And these impressions are the guiding programs, like the software in a computer, which move the person, which means that all the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, the decisions made, the likes and dislikes of that person depend on all these impressions. Therefore, it is very, very important that a child is taken care appropriately, especially the first few years. As you said, 7 years, that were very, very important, because most of the programming of the child is done by that time. I would say 90% of the programming is done by that time, and rest of the life is actually guided by these impressions. So if that programming is not done well, if the parenting is not done properly, then the person is going to have problems, and not knowing why the problems are coming to that person. Why is he feeling depressed or dejected, or he does not like certain kind of environment? He or she will not know this, but actually all this is already within the unconscious mind, which drives that person's feelings, thoughts, and desires.
So this is very interesting. So from what I'm understanding from what you just said is that the parenting role, the mother and the father, they play a large part in these impressions. Could you speak a little bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. The child ultimately is a product of the parents, and not physically but also psychically. And that's where I think most parents are not doing their role properly, especially in the modern times, when parents have a lot of other responsibilities. Maybe both of them are working and they don't cannot devote so much time to the child, but they must at least be aware of it. They should know that it's not that they have given birth and they are taking care of the physical needs of the child, but even the mental programming is dependent on that. So especially mother has a very important role to play in this. In Sanskrit we say that mata is mother, which is the word for you know mother in Sanskrit is mata, is the first guru or first teacher, because the child is imbibing not only what the mother is doing or speaking, but even the emotions of the mother are imbibed by the child. So if the child gets actually love and affection from the mother, then it nourishes the psyche of the baby. And then father also has an important role to play. Besides that, father may be supporting financially, but as the baby grows, because he or she is not always with the mother only, then there is a need to feel secure and not feel rejected or left over. So if the father has kind and affectionate behavior towards the child and cuddles and hugs the baby, then this goes a long way. It gives a sense of security and stability in the mind of the child. And this must be taken care of to bring up a healthy citizen in the society.
Hello, Jessica. So after hearing what Dr. Dasa said, in your sessions with clients, how do these impressions emerge or play out in your consultations with your clients?
Oftentimes, especially with women, they are, if their father has been critical to them or they're a workaholic, it may not necessarily be that they were an alcoholic, but even a workaholic. They just don't put very much attention on their daughter. You know, your father's your first love, And so then however your father treated you, you play that out in your adult life. So these women that I've been working with are continuing to go and actually be very attracted to men who are not interested in them and who treat them badly. And it's actually coming from that samskara of dad who was never there for them, who didn't validate them, who didn't recognize their feelings, who didn't hug them and cuddle them and make them feel special. So that's actually their comfort zone. That samskara is their programming in their comfort zone, and they can't figure out why they can't find a nice husband or a nice boyfriend, and why, in a way, we say it hurts so good. It actually hurts, but it actually hurts so good because that's the only thing they know, and that's actually what they think love is. And so that's one of those big samskaras that I work on with women in their fathers.
So also, it seems like this also would apply to men as well, these impressions. So is there a role that the mother or father are playing with men?
Great question. Yes. So for men, it's the main samskara I work on is with their mothers. And so that one oftentimes, if the mother was very critical, if you had a critical mother, then as a bossy or overbearing mother, then the son will go for a wife like that. And they'll be very attracted to a woman who criticizes them, who bosses them around, who doesn't make them feel special or loved. But that's actually what they think is love. And so then they end up usually cheating on the wife. And they're doing it because they're looking for actual real love, but they don't realize that what they think is love is what they're in. And so they cheat trying to get out of it. But if they don't get out of it, they just get themselves in more depression and more trouble. But it's this critical, unloving, unnurturing mother, because the ideal mother would be somebody who's very nurturing and kind and supportive and like a soft cushion for the son. And if they don't get that from their mother, then it makes them constrict, and then they go after this rigid, bossy, critical mother, and then that's their comfort zone. So they think that's normal. And it's hard to get out of that once you're in it. Once your samskara has been driving you, and then you reinforce that samskara, you stay in it and you keep going for women like that. And it's tricky to get out of that because that's what you think is normal and healthy and love.
Thank you, Dr. Dasa, and thank you, Jessica, for your time and enlightening discussion of Vedic psychology.